Have you done a lot of sleeping, Ron?
Just a little bit, but he's been making me run around on all these trips, like, you know, in the ferry and in the bus. We did.
Big Brother is very jealous, housemates. What's been the finest port of call on your journey so far?
Hawaii was very good.
Hawaii. Hawaii is a good place to go. Is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Has everybody made it? How long has everybody been here? By a show of hands, 2 days or under?
1 day.
Okay, 2 days and under. May get here some repeat. You may not. We'll just have to wait and see. As you know, right now you're on the main drag, or the Kalakaua Boulevard. This boulevard was named for our last king of Hawaii, King Kalakaua. And this road actually gets shut down about 100 times a year for parades. And now we don't have drive-ins on the island, but we do have beach-ins, and that's our version of a drive-in. That's Silver Screen. And from Labor Day to Memorial Day, they put up the screen, and every Friday, Saturday night we have free movies on the beach, like going to the drive-in. Pretty cool. Up here right is the aquarium. Thank you for waiting. If you look out your left-hand side of your window, that is one view of Diamond Head. That will not be your best view of Diamond Head. It's actually our very last stop as your, in my opinion, your best view of Honolulu. The next stop is at Amelia Earhart. She's the one that did a record-breaking solo pilot's license and set the way for other women to get their pilot license. So the plaque is to our left. Normally here I take about a 5-minute break. It's a great place to look out, and in front, directly in front of us, what you're looking at is the Coco Head Crater and the big white building.
Hey?
During World War II, they closed it down and only used it as a military fort. And again, it was used for a lookout point, and it was used for inches of rain a year, trees or grasses or bushes. It made Diamond Head. It was called ahi. Ahi, and they say it was the shape of the ahi fish's head is what the visual of the Diamond Head was. So they called it the off. They would harbor outside, anchor, and then they would, no one was steering to that either. Looking up and they would see what was quartz that they found in the soil. Now this is a restricted area even today.
Yeah.
We're inside the Diamond Head crater, so if you can see how it's fallen back in upon itself. And today the military occupies 50% part of the height that takes you up to the top. You're looking to your far, so this is where you hike up to get to that point. Now, when there's no other facilities on this location. There's no restaurants. You're out in nature. So you basically start the hike where you see the restroom building, and then you hike all the way up to the very top of the mountain. In that hike, you will go up, have to climb, and because it's old, now you've got your tail out, mister, so you need to be hard. Because it's old, the very last section is you're literally going, a bunker goes from the top of it and in the middle of the, so that when you're at the very last portion of the hike, you have to walk one floor worth of spiral staircases, and that's part of those 200 steps that you're climbing. Once you get to the top of that cone volcanoes, these are called Coco Head and Coco Crater. So that's what's directly in front of us. If you look over here to our left, you'll see the tall building. Of course, if you live here, Diamond Head's used very much like a
yeah, I got the people on there. Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh wow. I know. Wow, so how are you guys?
Pretty big, isn't it? Well developed.
Yeah.
Bigger than the Gold Coast.
Yeah, definitely bigger than the Gold Coast.
I want you to look at the ko'olaus. I'm sorry, this is on your left, a natural.
That's wonderful. Let's so good to hear from you. Yeah.
Instead of driving in and climbing
How are you?
Diamond Head, people climb. Has approximately, if you want to, that only goes up between your waist and your chest. It's not very deep. The whole bay is coral based, and so it's used as a natural feeding area for sea turtles and fish. And you'll probably see about 8. Normally the sea green turtles come in at around 4 o'clock to feed every day, and so you actually get to snorkel with them. It's a beautiful natural bay. I think this looks just like that, off to the right.
Yeah.
And you can see how dry it is on that Coco Head crater. It's directly in front of us now. And there's nothing growing there. Now, first point is to go down and the blowhole is like a natural geyser. See the guys fishing down there? You can come out here whether it's 5 in the morning or 10 o'clock at night, and there's still people fishing down there. And watch the blowhole. The blowhole is a natural, like geyser. It's when the pressure from the Pacific Ocean, and see the islands of Maui, Lanai, and Molokai. And then at the very far right of where we're going to stop after we do that, if you guys walk down there, right, it's also all those rocks on the lava rocks on the right. It's where you'll see a lot of your calendars with the Hawaiians in their natural dress. It's used quite often for shooting. At the, I will lock the vehicle, but don't leave a passport or $1 million or anything like that in here. Take the real important. On here, and it's because of this is one of our most dangerous beaches that we have because of the high surf and the strong currents that they have, and it pretty much there's a life chopper pad out here. There's a lot of kids out here that get broken necks and broken collarbones. Some make it, some don't. You can go on the web, there's all kinds of songs about Sandy Beach. There's all kinds of poetry about Sandy Beach. And it really has a huge, strong current, undertow current to it. I used to watch these kids. They just take those boogie boards and ride across the waves. And the water is so clear that you can sit up here, and when it makes that aloha,
It's clear water.
goes all the way up, since it's an active lighthouse. So it's almost like a lane and a half of a road. So a lot of strollers go off. This is one of the paths that is authorized that dogs and strollers and kids are allowed on. So it's well hiked on the weekends. Now look at the bride off to our right. See the bride in her wedding gown?
Nice pictures.
Now there's, off to your right here is an island that's called the Rabbit Island. That's also on your map that I highlighted. There's also a children's book that's called The Rabbit's Island. And if you look at it, that's the front nose of the rabbit, and the brown back. Like to get out and take a couple of photos of the beach or of the rabbit or of the lighthouse, please go ahead and step off of the bus. Now we're at the very tip of the Ko'olau Mountain on our left. This is the tip of the mountain. There's actually two children's books. There's one that's called Rabbit Island, and then there's another island I'll show you when we get to the top of the Poly that is called the Chinaman's Hat Island. And there's also a book, a children's book, telling the story of the Chinaman hat. Beautiful, isn't it? And Honolulu. This is one of my favorite towns on the island. The population military, and we were fortunate enough that Dad was stationed here for 5 years on Oahu when I was a teenager. The people got their land and then could afford enough money or saved enough money to build their little house for their market. Most of them are very small, like I said, only 5 to 10 acres at the most. The third thing that Waimanalo has, Hawaii, there's numerous state campsites for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think it's, if it hasn't, I think it's $21 for Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. How different this mountain range looks on this, the windward side of the island versus the leeward side of the island. Very traditional and very standard. I need to find a place in Waimanalo to take pictures of. Does anybody have any questions? It helps me on what your interest is. I know an awful lot, but I don't like to just, you know, claim warranty on it. She also has t-shirts, baseball hat. The other one is this East Honolulu clothing store for women. These are all handmade clothes in the shop right there. It's their 1-year anniversary. But I think the thing that I like the best is Dave's ice cream. It's homemade Hawaiian ice cream of the Hawaii that logged these islands that Captain Cook over the world in many different countries would sail to these islands. He sailed to the 3 islands, Kamehameha, King Kamehameha at the time, had enough warriors with him that he outnumbered the high chief of Oahu. And with just his number, the way they disposed of their enemy was that they threw them over this half-mile cliff. So when they built this road, originally, the first poly road they built, the old one, they found 400 skulls at the base of it. When they built that new poly road that we were on, they found another 8. all these cactus. You haven't seen nothing yet. Now, if any of you have fallen in love with Hawaii like I have, there's a spot for sale right for 7.
Oh, wow.
Pretty, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's on the head, huh?
Yeah.
There's the Ko'olau Range again. It's back in sight.
Oh, yeah.
Right through there.
Yeah.
Guys that were afterwards, they just had their ukulele hook pine that I like to use as my Christmas tree. But the majority of people still use the standard cutting out. If anybody knows what that is, these have just gone in bloom within the last week. Come on, you can do it.
It's taken Wally a long time to get here, but he got here. Look at the view, Wally. Look at the view. Waikiki. You should be able to see the ones that are getting, yep, right over there. It's the harbor where the cruise boat is sitting. See the cruise boat? Some of you will be getting on it tonight. Straight out where my hand. You'll see that on the left hand side. Directly in front of us was used as a sweet potato field in the Hawaiian time. The ladies put potatoes Manoa Valley is the second west valley on the side of the island. This valley is I live at down in the middle. if you and your spouse
Into it.